Not so fast. Sports is taking over the airwaves. For the next 30 minutes, we're talking football. The Tigers, Jags, Saints, and more. Breaking down the action and doing a little armchair quarterbacking.
Welcome in, everyone, to Sports Takeover. I'm Michael Cauble, joined by Shea, Dixon of the Bengal Tiger on 3.com and Matt Moscona of After Further Review, ESPN Radio here in Baton Rouge. We're happy you could join us for LSU's 10th game of the season, a 13-10 win over Arkansas, a game, guys, that locked up, hold yourselves, the SEC West title and punched their tickets to Atlanta. Hard to believe, earliest LSU has ever done it, and it's in Brian Kelly's first season. Shea?
I didn't know that. Earliest they've ever done it.
How about that?
Did you look that up?
By 3 days, I believe.
Well, that's the same week then.
Actually, yeah, is it? No. It's still the earliest.
Impressive.
Impressive, right?
And you beat Bama along the way to do it. You
beat Ole
secured the
Miss.
West.
I mean, some really good teams. One loss, obviously, that you'd love to have back against Florida State, but a loss that I think you had to take to get to where you are right now against Tennessee.
I think the most impressive thing about this team right now is in September, you were not a good football team and you lost a game because of it. You played poorly against Arkansas and found a way to win. That's what good teams do. You find a way to win when you're not playing your best, and that's what LSU did on Saturday.
And they certainly did that with the help of their defense. LSU struggling out of the gate, just a 6-3 lead at halftime, as Jaden Daniels uncharacteristically had a couple of turnovers, a fumble and this interception early in the game. And the LSU offense really stymied by Barry Odom's defensive front. The Tigers, though, as Matt said, able to battle through it, able to find something on the ground that kept them in this ball game. We'll talk about Josh Williams and that LSU run game later on in the show. But, guys, just your thoughts on this game. Matt, we'll start with you. Kind of like you said, sweating it out but getting the victory.
We all talked so much last week about the hangover, the letdown. Defense didn't seem to have a letdown. They played a sensational football game. I think the offense, when in the first 3 series you go interception, 3 and out, fumble, at that point Brian Kelly and his staff knew they're not scoring on us, and the only way we lose this game is if we screw it up. So I really think offensively they decided, look, we're going to play a super conservative game plan, lean on our defense, and get out of here with a win however we have to.
Shea, you see Kayshon Boutte with probably the biggest offensive play of the game, and then the lone touchdown from the Tigers here from Josh. Your thoughts on this Tiger game?
Matt's right. That I think that it's very uncharacteristic for Jaden to have to play a game this year, turning the ball over. When you do that right out of the gates twice, I think he probably played with some hesitancy within maybe some overall more conservative play calling. Like Matt said, you knew we were playing good D. I also think that they thought they were going to come out and be able to throw all over Arkansas. Their defensive backs were supposed to be the weak link. And look, Brian Kelly did it in his post game. He did it again on Monday. Sometimes you got to give credit to the other team. The other team sometimes does play well.
Yep.
Arkansas did play well defensively there. It is. Oh, I thought it took a lot of guys to lift it. That's just 2 DBs right there.
Just 2 strong ones. Yeah, you know, as conservative as the game plan was, Kelly was pretty conservative talking about his team's victory.
You're my boy, Blue.
You know, what we can take out from that game is that they have done the things necessary to make winning a habit. And just like losing becomes a habit, they found a way to win that football game.
You know, Shea, you talked about the job that the defense did in kind of understanding what this game was with Arkansas playing their backup quarterback and then their backup quarterback. For the LSU offense, it was a struggle bus, certainly. But the Tigers kind of did what they needed to, and they learned right away, as Matt said, that when they were dropping 8 and trying to figure out how to navigate that coverage, they found a way to still move the ball. Coach Kelly talked about needing to find a way to answer and then adjust. And even after the game, he says they need to be more aggressive when attacking that kind of defense, a defensive front that they're sure to see more of as the season rolls on.
We were defended quite well, and so I think part of this is understanding what adjustments that we have to make when teams are looking to defend things that have been really good for us. So, you know, we've seen 3 down probably more than any other front. You know, I think what was different is their edges were a little bit more aggressive, and, you know, we just simply didn't take advantage of that aggressiveness. Like I said, I think it falls on me, and we've got to prepare our team to be more aggressive to teams that want to play 3 down with the edges being so close. We have talented players on the perimeter, and we've got to get the ball out to them.
Yeah, and then the success that you saw with running right up the middle when teams will do that. This is what LSU has left in front of them. Of course, Saturday, UAB against UAB inside Tiger Stadium with a late 8 o'clock kick. That'll be senior day. And then next Saturday at Texas A&M to close things out, 6 o'clock kick at Kyle Field. And at the bottom, boys, there you see it, focusing on those Georgia Bulldogs. Not just yet, Coach Kelly says. We'll have more on that coming up later in the show. But guys, just your thoughts real quick on, the remaining schedule and how they're going to look at it.
A lot of people were surprised when they saw the line on this UAB game. It's only 14.5. UAB is a good football team. Their running back leads the nation in yards per game. If LSU defensively in that front seven doesn't show up to play, UAB can make this tense.
All right, we'll talk about that run game and LSU's run game when we return. Josh Williams, once again, pacing this Tiger rushing attack and helping get the dub in Fayetteville. We're talking Tiger run game next.
Buenos días. Estoy bien, gracias.
After decades of duplicating, we're going digital, providing our customers with the latest technology and exceptional customer service.
Before, years ago, we just simply used a copy machine to copy, but now we're able to copy and print and scan and email, and that just with one machine, that makes everything easier. Not only do they sell the product and guarantee it, they back it up and they service that product.
Call us now for all of your digital office products. BRDP, experience no one can copy.
When you're remodeling your home, from the simple to the complex, let Regal Remodelers handle all of your projects. From bathrooms to flooring to full kitchen remodels, Regal Remodeling can take the stress away. Call today, 810-3388 for your free estimate. Let Regal Remodelers show you how beautiful your home can be. 100% financing is available. When you're looking for quality craftsmanship at an affordable price, call the experts. Call Regal Remodelers at 810-3388 today.
These days, it's hard to sell that old car, boat, or RV. Save yourself the hassle and get a tax break as well. Donate your car or boat to St. Vincent de Paul and help a charity that's been helping Baton Rouge for over 150 years. Now more than ever, St. Vincent de Paul needs your help.
Are you considering a plant-based wellness option to help with anxiety, pain, trouble sleeping, and other debilitating conditions? Transformative Health Center is certified to help. Appointments are available online from the comfort of your home. You'll talk to a local doctor who will take the time to answer your questions in confidence. Take the first step to see if you qualify for a medical marijuana recommendation. Call or visit transformativehealthcenter.com and let's start the conversation.
Now return to the WBRZ Sports Takeover.
I think it's important that running backs clearly understand that if you want to stay on the field, right, you can't be a miss it. I'm going to miss you, right? You're going to be on the field less because you can't pass pro.
I think that's any coach anywhere. Welcome back to Sports Takeover. Matt Moscona, Shea, Dixon, Michael Cauble here, and we're going to talk a little LSU run game. Certainly the Tigers have needed that pass protection throughout the season as their offensive line has figured it out and gotten better each week, but really no one better than Josh Williams. And Josh Williams has done a great job of pacing this LSU rushing attack when maybe others haven't. In fact, he was pretty much the bright spot in this LSU offense Saturday against Arkansas. Shea, I'll start with you. Just your overall thoughts on Josh Williams and his seasonal progression this year to be so important to this offense.
I think this dates back to before this year. I can remember the time when people openly said, why is Josh Williams playing in football games for LSU? Matt's raising his hand. You don't see him on camera. That was the past couple of years under Coach O. Why is Josh Williams in there? They saw with this staff season, Josh Williams, he's the best option you got. And I think, obviously, you hear a lot about the blocking stuff. All of that is key. That's part of just trusting your running back. It's don't drop the football, which I think John Emery has trouble with. Yeah. It's hit the right holes, know all your assignments, block the right guys. He does all that. Unbelievable.
Yeah, one of my most embarrassing moments as a broadcaster in the 2020 season, LSU had a goal line situation. They threw the ball to Josh Williams. He didn't get in the end zone. And I said, why are they throwing the ball to the freaking walk-on? And I've tried never to ever criticize a college athlete. They're still out there playing for free. And he's made me and a lot of the people eat our words. He is their best option by a mile. He's a three-down back. I don't think athletically he's good enough to play at the next level, but that doesn't matter. As a college running back, he falls forward. He gets positive yards. He's a willing blocker. He can catch the ball. He'll play special teams if you need it. they are where they are in this running game in large part because of how good he is.
He is a tough runner, and one of the things that I think gets overlooked and often does with football players is their intellect. I think he is a smart runner. Coach Kelly talked a little bit about that at the tail end of talking about why it's so important to have good pass pro at the running back position.
First of all, you've got to want to do it, right? You've got to have the technique. But more importantly, it's the ability to read and recognize defenses. Most backs go what we call coast to coast. They start on one side, and then if their read doesn't show, they have to go all the way across and then read the other side. And that's a lot. And so most backs have to be able to do that. And it requires a lot of film study. Coach Wilson has to spend a lot of time with those backs, and they have to watch a lot of film and pick up a lot of different blitzes. And so football intelligence is really important at that position. So in recruiting, we have to make sure that backs have that ability to do it. And Josh is one of them that has a high football IQ.
High football IQ and high football output for this LSU football team. And they're going to need it once again going into this game. Matt, you alluded to a moment ago the Blazers coming into town, a couple of Baton Rouge area kids on their team, but really a team that Coach Kelly says has a lot of fight in them, even if their record doesn't necessarily reflect it.
Yeah, Dwayne McBride is leading the country in rush yards per game. He's got over 1,400 yards on the season already. This is a 5-5 football team, and it's kind of odd. You remember, look, by the way, Saturday will break the all-time series tie between LSU and UAB. UAB won here in 2000. LSU beat them in 2013. So this is a big game to break the series tie.
Get Todd Politz on the phone.
They're 5 look, UAB's 5-5. They've had a lot of close losses, but if you sleepwalk through this game, this is one that could be tense in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Coach.
No, he's right. I mean, look, they lost to Liberty by 7. That was the team that beat Arkansas. They went to double OT with UTSA, a well-coached Group of 5 team that's had success in recent years. Remember, Bill Clark stepped down right before this season. There was thoughts, people thought UAB was going to be the team from the Group of 5 that was crashing the playoffs. So
their offensive coordinator taking over as an interim this year, didn't give them a title. We'll see what happens with them. But even Coach Kelly echoing what these guys have said, it's a tough team.
It's a team that, quite frankly, is better than its record. They've had 3 or 4 losses that could easily be wins, and this could be one of the top teams in the non-Power 5 that would be coming into Tiger Stadium. So this is a challenge. This is a really good challenge for our football team, and we'll have to play well in Tiger Stadium against a really veteran football team.
Definitely like this game coming out after the Arkansas game. Take a look at the tail of the tape, as Matt alluded to. They do it on the ground, 247 yards rushing, certainly far eclipsing what LSU notches. Both teams scored about the same and defended about the same. LSU obviously falling back a little bit in their turnover margin, though, in this one. Guys, also going to be senior night. 17 seniors for LSU. Saying goodbye to them. Coach Kelly talked about what these guys have meant, because a lot of them super seniors dealing with COVID years, etc. It's going to be interesting to see who chooses to partake and who doesn't.
A lot of these guys have already graduated. Some haven't graduated. Some may want to come back. Some don't want to, be part of the celebration because they are coming back. They don't want to do it twice. So it's a little bit of both, right? But I can tell you this. What stands out are the stories like Micah Baskerville, who, when I got here, everybody was like, well, he doesn't go to class, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, and he's been amazing. He's gotten his degree, he's been a great leader, he's been inspirational in everything he's done. I love that story.
Coach Kelly not afraid to spill some tea on his way to a compliment, though, is he, huh?
Credit to Micah Baskerville.
Yes.
He's been awesome.
He has been awesome. And Shea, we were talking about potentially almost the entire defensive backs class will be graduating this year. A big rebuild.
A lot of super seniors. Yeah, I think the DB room's a multi-year rebuild. I'm with you, though, Cauble. I'm most interested to see who doesn't participate in senior night, meaning you're likely coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we'll have that and more. Talking LSU, Georgia Bulldogs. That's right. Stetson Bennett and company going to be on LSU's radar here sooner than later. That's next.
Have a passion? We've got the place. Gear up for where the rubber meets the mud, or stir up memories of a lifetime. Reach new heights. Gravitate towards something out of this world. Even travel back in time. You might like a little drama in your life, or get in touch with your inner nature lover. Release some pent-up energy while you're at it. There's plenty to do beyond the swing sets. Breck, we're more than a playground.
Honesty, integrity, attention to detail, and dedication. Lewis Mechanical Contractors has been providing top-quality plumbing services to Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas since 1960. Your peace of mind was their business then, and it is still now. Whatever you need, repair, installation, replacement, Lewis Mechanical is the area's trusted source for all plumbing jobs, big and small. Call 927-6520. That's 927-6520.
Lewis Mechanical, keeping plumbing humming.
Honest, trustworthy, and dependable. These are the characteristics Rice & Roofing upholds doing business in Baton Rouge.
Unspotted storm damage can result in catastrophic roof damage.
Hail, storm.
And roof wind damage can be sneaky and scary. Hail damages your roof and wreaks long-term havoc.
Rice spots the damage, helps file the claim,
and replaces our roof for just the cost of the insurance deductible.
We have repaired storm-damaged homes and businesses in South Louisiana for over 20 years. Get your free Rice & Roofing inspection, just to be on the safe side.
Are you considering a plant-based wellness option to help with anxiety, pain, trouble sleeping, and other debilitating conditions? Transformative Health Center is certified to help. Appointments are available online from the comfort of your home. You'll talk to a local doctor who will take the time to answer your questions in confidence. Take the first step to see if you qualify for a medical marijuana recommendation. Call or visit transformativehealthcenter.com and let's start the conversation.
WBRZ Plus, your 24-hour news channel, always on. Now return to the WBRZ Sports Takeover.
Motion Sanders, snap to Hornsby, tight pocket, Hornsby going to be brought down at the 2-yard line. Turnover on downs, the LSU defense delivers.
Everybody loves the good wordplay. Delivers. Did you catch that? Apparently not. All right. The
LSU I do love puns. I don't think that's what he meant.
No? Yeah, absolutely. That's what he meant. Chris Blair once again with the velvety voice of the LSU call on Saturday against Arkansas. And the defense doing a great job there of making sure they stayed out of the end zone early. That was pretty important when it came down late to the end of the game. But nobody bigger on defense right now, no name hotter across the country than Harold Perkins. Guys, we've seen this progression each week, and once again, you know, he just continues to make huge plays, almost forcing the fumble and recovering the fumble if his teammate had gotten in the way there. But, guys, the national media finally catching on to what Harold Perkins is.
Hard to ignore.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of really athletic defenders in LSU history, special athletes. I think what sets Harold Perkins apart and maybe would draw comparisons to Tyron is his disruptive ability and ball skills. When you see him sort of instinctively during a sack reach his left hand out directly going for the ball, he's not looking just to bring the quarterback down. He's looking to completely change the game. It's stunning to watch because I never thought I'd see another guy like Tyron, but he's close.
Yeah, Shea, I mean, Matt asked me yesterday on his radio show if I thought he was like Tyron, and certainly those ball skills that he alluded to and his knack to be around the ball instantly make you think that.
You've got a radio show?
Heard of it.
Yeah.
It's on TV.
It's also on WBTR.
How about that?
Not the Matt I was going to reference here. Kudos to Matt House because he recognized I've got a guy that can't sit on the bench. And early on, people said, get him in the game. Florida State special teams. We'll get him in the game the next week. Edge rusher. We'll just get him in the game. And that developed over time, as Coach Kelly talked about after the game. Perkins now understanding gap assignments and all these different things. I think Matt House deserves a lot of credit. Harold Perkins is a beast. But you got to put him in the right spots. And I think they brought him along well.
You have to find a way to use him, and you have to have the complementary players around him that allow him to get free in space. Coach Kelly talked about that in his weekly press conference.
I mean, there's a lot of guys that go into this, right? Mike or Baskerville. I could go on and on with that front. Savion was outstanding. He played with speed and agility. That group up front, Makai Wingo, we've talked about all year, they make a lot of that happen because they flush that quarterback. And then, you know, you got a guy like that can just chase him down. It's pretty impressive that the marriage, if you will, between the two, where you have a group that can get a quarterback outside the pocket and then go chase it down. It's kind of what I talked about from an offensive perspective. It's gotten us thinking about, do you spy Harold now? Like, do you put a spy on Harold? Because, you know, do you have somebody from the running back position try to shadow him? And so we're preparing for all of these eventualities as we kind of move forward.
I think that was incredible. I think that was the most telling thing that I heard yesterday in his coach's press conference. Someone now defensively preparing for the offense to play a spy against a defensive player.
Well, it's no different than like when LSU played Will Anderson. You have to know where disruptive defensive players are, so you scheme to protect against that player from being disruptive. So it will be interesting to see what teams do to maybe try to limit Harold Perkins. So Stromberg, the center from Arkansas, who might be the best center in the country, said after the game on Saturday, we had no plan for Harold Perkins. Like, they just didn't conceptualize that this guy could wreck their entire game, and it hurt him. So every team moving forward, you better believe, will be aware of Ford.
Yeah, I think it's just interesting because they can play Perkins in so many different spots. So Will, you're going to either get him off the edge, but Perkins, as we've seen, can drop in coverage, doing a good job at that this weekend as well. So
he had a pass breakup on Hazelwood, who's their best receiver.
It is. His closing speed is incredible. Like, I think that is it. You talked about the hands and the awareness. I think just the physicality and the speed, and that's something that, Brian Kelly hasn't had at Notre Dame, and certainly it's a huge flex. And everyone.
You mean Harold Perkins is better than Manti Te'o?
We're not going to go there, right? Or
he is.
Yeah,
yes, he is very much.
We'll go there.
Yeah, he is. The Tigers now have plenty of attention on them as well, but they also have plenty of time to look forward to that SEC championship game December 3rd in Atlanta. Coach Kelly, though, said he's hitting the brakes. He's not going there just yet.
I think we'll have plenty of time to get information on Georgia. Our focus will be on UAB and A&M because they matter. For us, in terms of where we are in the development of our program, these singular games are so important to us. Look, I get the SEC championship game is what it is, right? It gets you one step. But as we're climbing this ladder for us in terms of the development of our program, these games are so pivotal for us in terms of our development. It's crazy to be able to think of anything else but these individual games.
Yeah, but it's crazy to think that LSU's in the SEC championship game December 3rd, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. LSU and Georgia. Georgia back in the title game for the 5th time in the last 6 years. That is amazing. Matt, you said you already saw an early line on Georgia LSU?
DraftKings has the early line at Georgia 16, and I agree with Brian Kelly. This team isn't good enough to roll out their helmets and just beat everybody, but the reason you have a gigantic support staff is so you can get a little leg up on preparing for a game like this.
Nope, I'm with him. And look, Georgia, people will talk about Brian Kelly, Sonny Dykes Coach of the Year, Kirby Smart. They got gutted by the draft. I mean, that's why they were so good last year. They're rolling out 10-0 again with Stetson and Ladd. And all these guys just beating the brakes off everyone. That's a good football team.
I think Stetson Bennett's a fantastic athlete, maybe, but a college football player like you alluded to earlier with Josh Williams. I think he's a dark horse for the Heisman. I said it. All right. Stick around. When we come back, Matt is off the table. Shea Dixon will join us to talk a little LSU Tiger recruiting. Talk about getting gutted. LSU did that and is in the middle of a rebound and in the SEC championship. Remarkable stuff. Matt, thanks for your time. Sports Takeover continues after this.
It's getting hot at Sarita's Grill and Cantina. Ignite your taste buds with our flaming fajitas, featuring top quality meats and mouth-watering veggies. Our Latin flair takes our dishes to a whole new level. Caliente, Sarita's Grill and Cantina, Bass Pro Boulevard.
Bear Creek Western Store, it's where the West begins.
Saddle up, boys and girls. This is where the West begins.
Bear Creek has everything you need to tame the West. Boots, hats, saddles, and jewelry. It's a one-stop Western shop for men, women, and children at Bear Creek. New merchandise arrives daily.
Bear Creek Western Store, it's where the West begins.
Are you considering a plant-based wellness option to help with anxiety, pain, trouble sleeping, and other debilitating conditions? Transformative Health Center is certified to help. Appointments are available online from the comfort of your home. You'll talk to a local doctor who will take the time to answer your questions in confidence. Take the first step to see if you qualify for a medical marijuana recommendation. Call or visit transformativehealthcenter.com and let's start the conversation.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science
are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
We take our margaritas seriously with 14 different flavors: passion fruit, mango, fresh squeeze, and single barrel select tequila for our specialty margaritas. You can't get margaritas like this anywhere else. Sarita's Grill and Cantina, Bass Pro Boulevard.
We now return to the WBRZ Sports Takeover.
That freshman class has obviously been a huge piece of this SEC West championship team, right? You know, you've got 2 starting tackles, you've got a tight end, you've got Harold Perkins, you've got Tolan, you've got a number of guys that are playing in roles that are helping us in so many different ways.
Shea Dixon of the Bengal Tiger on 3.com joining us now to talk about that next group of freshmen that could be instant impact players. So many this year that LSU is leaning on. Anyone in this 2022 class that looks like they could jump in that 23 season and provide dividends right away?
I mean, you heard Kelly talking about it yesterday. They signed 15 high school guys. 6 or 7 of them are basically starting right now. I think, in fact, there you go, right there. Deshaun Womack is one guy that I would look at high on the list. I think that's a kid who comes in playing the B.J. Ojulari role, that stand-up edge rusher out of the D.C. area. I think he finishes as a 5-star with a number of sites. Another guy, Dalen Austin, right there from California. We know they need corners. That's their highest-ranked corner right now. So there are guys in this next class. 25 commits gives you a lot more than 15, obviously, but there are guys that can play early. Again, I think we're looking at one of them, Deshaun Womack right there. I think he's the next B.J. Ojulari. All right, Shelton Sampson, obviously a guy that Tiger fans would love to see jump into the mix as well. You can find Shea's stuff on 3.com. The Bengal Tiger, 5 weeks about until National Signing Day, and then it is full go December 20th, I believe Shea told me. Hey, thanks for joining us. Have a great night.